Back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about using the right cassette and gearing for riding, especially down here in the flat terrain. If you're planning to come down to South Florida to do some fast riding, you want to make sure that you have the right cassette, because it could make the difference between you getting stuck in and getting dropped. Having the right cassette on your bike can keep you from getting dropped is not an overstatement. Road cycling, especially on the flats and rolling terrain, gear selection is really crucial. Road bikes are very sensitive instruments. When you're trudging along in a very fast group ride, there's subtle changes in speed, sometimes extreme changes in speed, but nonetheless, what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to manage your body's performance. Think of your body as like a car. Most cars have a specific power band in which they're the most efficient. They make the most power, they're the most efficient at a certain RPM. Your body is the most efficient and produces the most power at a certain RPM with a certain heart rate, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into all of the science of that stuff. And what I'm going to share with you guys today is by no means an exhaustive scientific list. It's simply stuff that I have experienced over the years, and the verification comes from the seat of my pants and watching a Peloton move up the road while I try to figure out how to get the lactic acid out of my legs. This past weekend on our Saturday morning ride, I was riding a bike with a cassette, an 11-speed cassette that was an 1125. I usually do that ride like I do most of my rides down here in South Florida with either an 1123 or a 1225. But on this day, I was on an 1125. Now, it happens to be this cassette right here. This is the culprit. Fortunately, the ride was not that hard. Even in the turn-up zone, I was okay. But every time I went to the front and I was pulling, and we were going from about 21 to 23 miles per hour, if I was in the 53-17, and I shift down, I didn't have a 16. This cassette doesn't have a 16. It took me straight from the 17 down to the 15. Now that's manageable, okay, as you know, you're rolling along, but it was a change that I felt in my legs, and it reminded me of situations where you're riding either on slightly rolling terrain or you're riding into the wind, and you just want that consistency in terms of going from the 17 to the 16, then to the 15, bringing your speed up that way. And even though it wasn't drastic, I didn't get dropped, but going from the 17 down to the 15 had an effect on how I was riding. This is a Campagnolo 11 speed. I've got 25, 23, 21. Then I've got 19, 18, 17. Then no 16. I dropped to the 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, okay? That's a problem. I need that 16. Not only do I need that 16, I need the 16 and I need the 18. Here is my 1225. I've got 25, 23, 21, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12. Now, I'm not a sprinter, and I'm not sustaining speeds over 37 miles an hour, so I'm okay with the 12. I can get away on most rides with the 25-12. It gives me a better ratio for riding in flat to rolling terrain. Click, 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 click. The consistency to deal with the subtle changes in speed to bring my power up or to use my power properly as I'm changing. Now, this is a Shimano, a Dura Ace. Check this out. This is also an 1125. Shimano hides the numbers. 25, 23, 21, 19, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Shimano forgoes the 18. They go from the 19 to the 17. They give you the 16. like I said, that could potentially pose a problem, again, depending on how you ride, the power that you like to put out, and you feel the consistency. Now, I would prefer to not have the 18 than to not have the 16. And the reason why is that when I start getting into the lower portion of the cassette, that's where I want the tighter ratio. So to me, even though I'm a big Campagnolo guy, Shimano has done a better job of thinking this through by making sure that you have the 17, 16, 15, etc., as you change down when you're riding with the 1125. So, and this is my baby right here. This is the holy grail of flat road cycling. This is an 1123 Campagnolo Super Record cassette, half titanium, half steel. That's an important part. Recovered. Okay, so we've got 23, 21, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. So for the way how I ride here in South Florida, I either need to be on the 1123 or the 1225 if I'm using Campagnolo. All right, so let's take a little pause for some science. You can actually go to this website called bikecalc.com, enter in certain parameters, and it'll basically give you an estimate, a pretty accurate estimate of the speed that you're going to be running based on you being in certain gears, running certain RPM. For example, I enter in that I'm running 700C wheels by 25 millimeter tires. The chain ring or the gearing, as we've indicated, is 5339 by 1125. And in this example, we're assuming that I'm trudging along at 90 RPM. Well, when I'm in the 5317, it shows an indicated speed of 22 miles an hour, which I might add, I believe that's pretty accurate. But as I switch to the 5315, which is what happened on Saturday's ride, I am maintaining a speed of 22 miles an hour, but I have a huge drop in my cadence. It goes all the way down to 80 RPM. From 90 to 80, maintaining the same speed, that is a problem, and that's an indication of the issues that I was feeling in my legs on Saturday. Now, just for reference, let's look at what happens when if I had the 5316, I would still be going about 22 miles an hour, but this time I only have a 5-point drop in my cadence, going from 90 to 85, which for me would be a lot more palatable. And in a long ride where there's constant fluctuations in speed and effort, those are the little things that make the difference. A quick point to make: in your riding, you're always trying to balance between your cardiovascular system, stressing your cardiovascular system, and stressing your legs, okay? Once your legs blow up, they get filled with lactic acid on a ride. Once your legs are gone, they're gone. They're not making a comeback, not on that day, okay? Your heart can, you can tax your heart rate, get it up, you can feel exhausted, you can recover with rest, with nutrition, just taking it easy for a little bit. So your heart rate can make a comeback. Your legs are not making a comeback once they're gone. So if I've got to make a decision between taxing my cardiovascular system and taxing my legs, I'm going to protect my legs. Again, most of the information that I shared with you today is based on riding on flat to rolling terrain. But in the comment section below, let me know what cassette ratio you run. And also let me know, when you ride your bike, what cog do you think you spend the most time on? I think that'll open up an interesting conversation. So, hey, thanks again for watching, guys. As always, our aim here is to inform, instruct, inspire. Be blessed.